fellow readers. My name is Greg, and this is Ghost Readers in the Sky. I'm a big fan of short stories. I like the compactness. I like the ability to sit down and read a whole idea at a single sitting. And I've been on a project here this year to read a short story every day. And I started the year with Louis L'Amour's collection, West of the Tularosa. Louis L'Amour lived from 1908 to 1988 and was a prolific short story writer. He wrote 100 novels, but he also wrote over 400 short stories, many of them Westerns, but a lot of adventure stories as well, stories about sea captains in and around Indonesia and the East Indies, stories about adventure and survival, as well as Westerns. He was a Westerner, grew up in North Dakota, lived in New Mexico, so knew a lot about the West. And even though that's not what he started writing, after the Second World War, he got an opportunity to write Westerns and decided that's what he wanted to do. And he was looking at the landscape of fiction at the time, and Westerns were not seen as literary. And he was writing mass market paperback as well. So that was also not seen as a literary career. And he really wanted to elevate the whole notion of the Western as genre to be seen as literary, regardless of genre, regardless of how it was published. This is a collection of 8 of his early short stories written in the late 40s and early 1950s. It includes the title story, West of the Tularosa. These are all Westerns. Most of them are the small individual rancher against the big, I'll say corporate rancher, may not be corporate, certainly the cattle barons, the land barons, that kind of person, entity that you think of is the David against Goliath style of fiction. And he's always writing on the side of the David in that particular analogy. There are a couple of stories to me that really stand out. One is Fork Your Own Bronx, which features Mac as the lone, the small rancher starting a small herd of cattle, but being near land that was controlled by, and the water controlled by Bob Kenyon, that's his name, Bob Kenyon. And of course, there's a little bit of romance because Mac is in love with Bob Kenyon's daughter, but Bob has cut off Mac from all of the water, and so Mac can't get his cattle to water, and so it's really more of a battle of wits than anything else. It's not a big gunfight. It's not a big political fight. It's Mac's trying to find a way to outsmart Bob to get water to his cattle and to his land. The other standout I thought in this collection was about a guy who hunts mountain lions. The Lion Hunter and the Lady is the name of the story, and his name is Cat Morgan. He hunts mountain lions, but he doesn't kill them. He captures them alive because he sells them to circuses and zoos and other places that want live mountain lions. And so he's out in the mountains hunting lions and gets mistaken. He and his partner, Long John, they get mistaken for cattle thieves or horse thieves, some kind of livestock thieves, and the bad guy of the story, again, the big cattle baron, the big land baron, wants to string them up immediately. And so how they get out of that and how they find their way through this, negotiating through this world that they didn't even mean to be a part of. They're just out there trying to catch mountain lions for zoos. So those are a couple of my favorites there. The whole collection is worth reading. None of the stories are terribly long. The West of the Tularosa itself is a bit longer, but it's still, it all goes pretty fast. I read one a day for the first 8 days of January 2025. And I think if you picked it up, you'd enjoy it too. So if you do pick it up, or if you've read other Louis L'Amour novels or short stories that you want to talk about in the comments, feel free to do that. You can do all that YouTube like and subscribe and stuff if you want. Mostly I'm just here to talk about books, and if there are people to talk about books with, that makes me happy. And until next time, keep on reading.